Brian Fritz here in Orlando. We're at the Be a Star Rally, and joining me right now is NXT Women's Champion Charlotte, who is one of the NXT superstars out here, getting an opportunity to speak with the students. What was it like for you to be able to talk to them today about the anti-bullying campaign?
Well, Brian, it was my first time, and to be honest, I was truly honored, for one, to be able to represent WWE and all of the NXT superstars, but to really reach out to the kids in my own community and talk about tolerance and respect. I think they look at us as larger than life, and we just came here today and tried to relate with them and, you know, let them know that we're all human and we all have the same stories and that it's just not them, and to know that it's okay to talk about it. I think at that age you think it's all about you and it's your fault, and to let them know that no, it's not, and they don't have to live with that at that age. So it was awesome. And just to see the smile on their faces, like, it doesn't get any better than that.
I was going to say, one of the things that really stood out to me was how enthusiastic, how excited they were, but also how excited you were and the other NXT superstars.
Oh, I mean, we really were excited. It was nice to be able to see Adrian Neville talk about cyberbullying, since social media is a huge part of our job, and he has Twitter, X amount of followers, and to let the kids know if they have social media, what they can do if certain things are happening. And I think, you know, kids that age have parents that didn't grow up with social media, so they probably don't know what's going on. Sami Zayn got to talk about the difference between who he is as a person and his character. I think that's also important, because the kids do watch our product and might not get the best, I guess, influence in terms of like, oh, I want to be like him. Like, no, he's a mean guy or she's a mean girl. To let them know that they are playing a character, they are playing a role. But
we shouldn't grow up to be like Tyler Breeze.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then Tyler talked about, you know, being a bystander and watching bullying happening. And, you know, we were here today to say, you know, you're not alone, and WWE does offer valuable resources that the kids can reach out to, as well as the teachers.
I think the other thing that stands out for you and so many others in NXT now is just how many people know who you are and see you on a regular basis now, with how big NXT has become as a brand. Has any of that ever surprised you?
I'm taking it all in. I mean, I've been at NXT 2 years as of tomorrow, and to think about what NXT was like the first day I started and then what it's like now, I mean, I can walk into a store and people be like, "Are you Charlotte?" Which is crazy, but you forget now that the network has NXT on its own programming domestically. Like, you know, we're not no longer like superstars in London. Like, people here watch it, and it's really, you know, it's really neat to be able to show them what NXT can do.
Of course, you were the women's champion, like I said, being Natalya a few months back on the Takeover show. Obviously, very emotional moment for you, your father, Ric Flair, there at ringside. What was it like even going into the match, knowing all the emotion that was surrounding it and making sure that you still did the best that you could and stood out, especially in a live broadcast on the WWE Network?
Well, to have the opportunity to be on the second live special for NXT was nerve-wracking enough. I mean, I really wanted to deliver and show Natalya what I was made of, and show everyone watching. I mean, just to think now that there are pay-per-views for NXT, I just knew that I wanted to win, and all the people that were watching, I mean, usually when you go to Full Sail, it's taped, and that it was live and the feed was going and people were tweeting in. At that time was even like, oh my gosh, people in California, people in Colorado, overseas are watching at that moment. That's, I think, was pretty scary too.
And how great was the moment too? Obviously the emotions pouring out afterwards, like I said, with your dad, Ric Flair, there at ringside throughout the match, cheering you on and then celebrating with you right afterwards.
I really don't have words. It was so special. I mean, to follow in my dad's footsteps. I think if anyone's followed my father's career, they truly know how passionate he is about professional or sports entertainment. And to be able to carry on his legacy in my own way and to win the NXT Women's Championship, I mean, it just meant the world to me. I know how much his legacy and hard work and sacrifice and his love for his fans or WWE Universe that he put into them, and to know that I'm representing his brand that he worked on for so long means a lot to me. So I want to do it justice, and I felt that pressure that night, and I think it went really well. And my dad was, I mean, no matter how grand the stage is, he'd be proud of me, but to win my first title with him there was special.
And it was a fantastic match too. Yeah. And then we talk about the pressure of being Ric Flair's daughter. That comes to that because he is such a legend. And then he says, you have the gift. You have the gene. So what does that mean for you? And I mean, no extra pressure, right?
No. It's taken me 2 years to know how to, I guess, micromanage the pressure. But now I think I'm able to channel the pressure as fuel. Being a second generation, I guess, diva / wrestler is hard within itself because you're always compared to, or you always walk in that shadow. But my dad was really hands-on as a kid when he says you have the gene. It's because I was literally in a personal training studio from the moment I could walk, and he had me in volleyball, basketball, gymnastics, cheerleading, diving, swimming. I even took river dance, toe. I did it all. So he has prepared me for this moment, and I know that I can handle the pressure because I've been in such, I guess, stressful situations growing up, always being compared to him. Even when I was playing volleyball in college, people would be like, oh, well, that's just Ric Flair's daughter. No, like, he's not out there doing the work for me. So it's taken 2 years, but now I just soak it all in, and I love it. I love every second of it. I wouldn't change my last name.
Two last things. When did the decision actually come? You said, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. I want to get into sports entertainment. You know, I'm sure you had thought about it for years, especially with it being in your family. But when was it that you finally said, you know what, I'm going to give it a try?
I didn't grow up wanting to be a diva, to be honest. I just didn't know enough about it. And I didn't look at myself in that light. I wasn't, I guess I always played sports, so I was a tomboy. So I was like, oh, I could never be a diva. But I was in Miami with my younger brother Reed and my dad, and someone was like, oh, why don't you, give it a go? And I was like, oh, I don't know, I'm personal training, I love doing that. And they were like, try it, like, the Divas division is changing. It's not like the Attitude Era, it's intelligent, athletic, strong women. And I'm like, okay, I can relate to those three things. So it was in Miami 07 when my dad was inducted in the 2000 and when Four Horsemen was inducted. So 2011, 12, I don't know. It was
something
2
like
years
that,
ago. Yeah. So that's when I decided to do it.
Last thing, this past weekend, you got an opportunity to go with the WWE out on the road. You worked a tag match at Madison Square Garden. What was it like to be under the lights in that building?
Oh. Heck of a way to start your main roster debut. It was amazing. Well, Sasha Banks and I started pretty much at the same time, and to have her tagging with me was, special within itself. But Madison Square Garden has so much history and tradition, and to walk out there and know that I was making my own history within that building and having my dad there and being on the same card as him, that's what really made it special. Like, his name was on there, I was on there. But facing Natalya again, that was pretty awesome too, because that was the first time I'd faced her since Takeover. And then obviously going up against Nikki too. But it was also, what was so cool is they knew who we were. NXT obviously isn't, it's on the network, so you have to have the network, but walking out there and then playing our little package and then knowing us, like, made you feel like even more like a superstar. Like, NXT means business, I guess you could say.
Charlotte, congratulations on all the success, and I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty more of you here in the WWE.
Thank you so much, sir.